Good evening, dear friends. Welcome to Newspaper Analysis Townhall. Today we are going to discuss these 5 topics, and the first topic for today's analysis is Bihar electoral roll revision. Now I would like to give you a bit of context. Bihar assembly election are due. The dates are not announced, but it is due around November. So as preparation to this, Election Commission of India has begun updating voter list. And this has led to a huge controversy. There is a petition in Supreme Court against this updation. There are protests that are happening by opposition parties against this updation by Election Commission of India. Now let us try to understand what is the issue with this revision of voter list. So this is the article that has come up in today's The Hindu newspaper, and it is written by Zoya Hassan, Professor Zoya Hassan from JNU. So we will see these 3 aspects and try to understand what the issue is with Bihar election and this updation of roll. Now let us try to understand this. What is the nature and process of revision? So the last major revision of voting list happened in 2003 in Bihar. Now, as per Election Commission of India, due to various factors such as urbanization, such as migration, there are various addition as well as subtraction from the list. It means that there is possibility of duplicate entries. Various deaths are not reported. It means that the name of these people who are not alive may be present. Election Commission of India has also said that there is possibility that some foreign nationals are also there in voting list. So we need to identify and remove them. So that is why they have begun this special intensive revision to sort out and completely clean up the voting list before the Bihar Assembly election. Now, if anybody's name was there in 2003 list, they need not to worry about anything. Their name is again going to be in the updated list. However, if somebody's name is added after 2003, then to continue as a voter in their constituency, they will have to show some new documents. Now, the problem why this controversy is happening is that the documents that these Election Commission of India has asked, many people do not have these documents and they have to submit these documents within 30 days. That is why there is a real danger that their voting rights shall be gone for not producing these documents. And that is why opposition parties are against this move of Election Commission of India. Okay, so what are the new documents that are being asked? So some of the documents are like passport, domicile certificate, birth certificate, forest right certificate, and National Register of Citizen, Family Register. Some of these documents are asked. So a person needs to provide any of these documents, 11 documents. Now the issue is that it does not include Aadhaar, it does not include voter ID, it does not include ration card. It also does not include PAN card. It does not include driving license. Generally, people have these documents, especially people from poor class, from people who does not have literacy. They do not have the documents that are asked by Election Commission of India. Now, around 60% of the voters have to reprove their eligibility to become voter in their assembly. So that is an issue. Now, next issue is that this exercise is happening during monsoon season, where the mobility of any common person is affected. Even if they are given 30 days to make some of these documents, it is insufficient time. And this is a peak migration season. It means that many migrant laborers have gone out into other states. So they would not be able to return back. So they may lose their voting rights. Now let us try to understand what is going to be its social and constitutional concerns. So this move may affect poor people, Dalits, Muslims, and especially migrant workers. There is a real danger that migrant worker may lose their voting rights because they are temporarily absent from Bihar. And second is that voter ID, when it is issued by ECI itself, then why it is not sufficient to prove that people are genuine voters? It leads to institutional distrust. Now people will not have faith in the institution because voter ID is given by ECI itself. Next, burden is proof is shifted from state to citizen. Now let us look at this case, that birth certificate. Now, in a state like Bihar, where there are very less institutional deliveries, having birth certificate is a challenge. Now, citizen is themselves responsible to prove that they are the right voters. And this action by Election Commission of India may produce a class of citizen who does not have voting rights, even though they are legally eligible, just because they could not produce the documents. So it can lead to second-class citizenship, which is a major concern. And it resembles the National Register of Citizen, an exercise that was conducted in Assam. However, that exercise was conducted with judicial oversight, but now there is no judicial oversight. So these are some of the social and constitutional concerns. Now let us also see that India as a country, when we won our independence, we became successful because we were following the policy of universal adult franchise, because any person who is adult has right to vote without any discrimination. Now let us see what is going to be political and national implication. Now, it could remove up to 2 crore voters if they cannot give their documents. So it may lead to, disadvantage to opposition parties. It is a kind of demographic manipulation. All these are arguments given by the writer, Professor Zoya Hassan. These are not my personal views, okay? So it may impact the pluralism of society, because some sections of the society won't be eligible for voting, and those sections are going to be poor and marginalized migrant workers. Now there is a problem that Election Commission credibility is also at risk, because it has begun this exercise at a very wrong time. The elections are just coming and there is only 30 days of time for this exercise. And if it happens in Bihar, it can be replicated elsewhere in various states. So that is also an issue. It can become a nationwide phenomena. So ultimately, this exercise, according to the author, is leading to violation of voting rights, which is against the principle of universal adult franchise. It is also violation of equality because Constitution has given under Article 326 right for any person who is above age of 18 the right to vote, and it is also violation of dignity of individual that burden is now shifted to citizen to prove that they are resident of their state. So these were the issues regarding this article. Now let us move on to our next news. It is a very short news. There is one survey, and this survey is PARAKH Sarvekshan. Earlier it was called National Achievement Survey. So its full form is Performance Assessment Review Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. So what is the objective? This survekshan or this survey was conducted in December 2024 and it covered around 21.1 lakh school students, both from government as well as private schools of grade 3, 6 and 9. Class 3, class 6 and class 9. Now let us try to understand these two aspects in this article. So it was conducted in 781 states, and the result is that overall achiever states were Punjab, Kerala, Himachal Pradesh, Chandigarh, Daman and Diu. You can remember this, it is important for prelims as well as mains examination. It can be utilized as value addition. So these are the states which are doing good in school education, whether it is private or government, for grade 3, 6, 9. Now let us try to understand some key learning deficit which we can use as arguments in our mains answer. So for grade 3, 55%, only 55% student could arrange numbers up to 99 in either ascending or descending order. It means 45% student from class 3 could not arrange number from 1 to 99. So it shows that there is learning outcome deficit with respect to mathematics subject in schools. For grade 6, only 38% student could relate to science concept with nature. It means concepts such as food chain, such as seasons, so which have only 38% could relate between theory and practice. For grade 9, only 45% could explain the making and ideals of constitution. So there is key learning deficit for school students in India. Now let us move on to our third topic. And this is the topic Golden Dome. This project has just been announced by US President Donald Trump. So in this article, we will try to understand what is this project, what are going to be its legal as well as moral challenges, and what is going to be India's position and India's strategic dilemma. So what is Golden Dome? You must understand that there is a question about Iron Dome which has already come in mains examination. So Iron Dome was air defense system. Now this Golden Dome, this is a photo which conceptualizes this Golden Dome. You can see that this is a shield above Earth. Now let us try to understand. This is a space-based missile shield which will protect United States against any ballistic missile, any hypersonic missile, or any threat from outer space. And how it will protect? There would be a constellation of satellites which will have laser weapon, which will have kinetic weapon in it. So let's say if any missile is being launched, then these can be neutralized by these interceptors, by these laser and kinetic weapons which are deployed through satellites. Means these satellites would be containing these weapons. So it is termed as a defense strategy by USA. However, countries such as Russia and China are terming this as offense strategy. They have condemned it as space militarization. Let us try to understand what can be its ramifications for space-based arms race. How articles in Outer Space Treaty are utilized, loopholes are found for Golden Dome project. Now, according to Outer Space Treaty 1967, it prohibits weapons of mass destruction. So according to USA, Golden Dome is not a weapon of mass destruction. That is why we can deploy it, because Outer Space Treaty allows conventional arms. According to Article 4 of Outer Space Treaty, outer space shall be used for peaceful purposes. Now, how USA and some countries have interpreted that peaceful purpose also means that we can develop our deterrence. Means we can develop non-aggressive military buildup in space. Now, there is a UN Assembly resolution which is called PARAKH, means Prevention of Arms Race in Outer Space. Even though it was not legally enforceable, however, it led to prevention of arms race in outer space. With this Golden Dome, this resolution is undermined, because now space will be open for arms race. Now, what are the issues with this Golden Dome? Critics say that this shield which is there, it is not just defensive. US or any country which is having such system in space, it can use this against the communication satellites or any legitimate satellite of other countries. It may give US the opportunity for doing first strike. What is going to happen? It will normalize weaponization of space, because if US make this, then Russia, China, European countries will rush forward for their own systems, and there is going to be a mad race. Now, if we see what is the dilemma for India? On one hand, India is partner of United States in space cooperation. We are cooperating with them for satellite tracking, for removing space debris. On another hand, we are also champion of peaceful use of outer space. If India support US, then it will be against its stand of peaceful use of outer space. If India does not support US, then it will lead to strain in its ties with United States. So that is the dilemma with India. What should be done? Well, like-minded countries should push for clarity in Outer Space Treaty 1967. So they must add provisions into it. They must revisit this treaty so that such technologies cannot be used for offense also by countries like USA. And there should be some legally binding instrument for non-deployment of weapon in space. That is also very important. And on the personal front, India should make and have laws such as India Space Activity Bill so that we can have clear guidelines for defense cooperation in space. So that was it in this article. We have read about Outer Space Treaty, which is very important from prelims point of view. And this golden dome question can come in mains because earlier Iron Dome has already come in mains examination. Now let us look at our next article. Next article is related to women-led MSMEs and what are the challenges, especially with respect to credit, that women-led MSMEs are facing. So we will go through status of women in MSME sector and then what are the barriers and what are some schemes that are there. Now MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises, they contribute up to 30% to India's GDP. And we are trying to raise this to 30 to 35%. It means there is focus on expanding MSME sector. Now there are 20.5% of the enterprises are women-led. 10% turnover are provided by women-led MSMEs. And they attract 11 to 15% of the investment. So here we can see the disparity that there are 20.5% MSMEs are women-led and they are attracting only 11 to 15% of investment. And women-led MSMEs face 35% of the credit gap. It means if they want to get 100 rupees as loan, they are only getting 65 rupees. And males or men-led MSMEs are getting 80 rupees. So here there is a credit gap for women. Now let us try to understand why such credit gap is there. Because generally women does not have collateral. Because of the lack of ownership of collateral, banks do not generally give loans to women, which led to women go to informal sources of lending. And then there are first generation entrepreneurs, especially from rural areas, who do not have financial literacy. They do not know about banks and how to take loan from banks. And even banks are also not doing much in order to provide financial literacy for this segment. And MSMEs, one are formal MSMEs and there are informal micro enterprises also. Since they lack paperwork, they do not get formal credit. And then there is a banking bias. According to one survey, women have to visit at least 4 times in order to get loan. Men get loan in 2 visits. Next barrier is that women are not informed about government schemes. There are various government schemes such as Mudra scheme is there. They are not informed yet, so they are not able to take that much of benefit. Now, if we see about schemes, so there is this Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, which support individuals seeking self-employment, and it has enabled women to open loan accounts and fund their MSME companies. However, there is disparity. Lesser fund is being allocated to women-led MSMEs. Then there is one scheme, Udyam Assist Portal, which help these informal micro enterprises to become eligible for priority sector lending by facilitating their formal recognition, means helping them in the paperwork. So the issue is that there are schemes. Let's say there is Mudra scheme also. Then there is this Udyam Assist Portal scheme is also, but they lack in the implementation. There is need to implement them better, and there is need for more awareness, especially the financial awareness and awareness about schemes to women entrepreneurs, including first generation women entrepreneurs. Now let us move on to our last topic. So recently, this great Hornbill has been cited in Kerala, and it has led to this article in the Hindu newspaper. Now let us try to see few facts which are important about Great Hornbill. So try to answer this question. Hornbill Festival. It is celebrated in which state? Write in comments. So Great Hornbill is a bird and its IUCN status is endangered. Second, it is protected under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Act. Now, it is generally found in Indian subcontinent as well as Southeast Asian countries. It resides in evergreen forest and deciduous forest. You remember it because it is important from prelims point of view. In India, these are found in Western Ghats. These are found in northeastern states and Himalayas. These birds prefer trees which are higher in height, which have high canopy. So they prefer to nest their eggs here. So this is a question. Great Hornbill is a state bird of which state? Nagaland, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, Manipur. Please write the answer, write this state in comment. And please note that there can be one or more than one answer. Thank you for watching this. If you have any question, you can just write down in comments.